Hi there, my name is Dina Falconi, herbalist, educator, the author of Foraging and Feasting and Earthly Bodies and Heavenly Hair. What's happening right now, peak moment for catnip, Nepeta Cataria of the Lamiaceae family. And we are moving over to where it has decided to plant itself, and it's growing in this very beautiful, lush patch. Let's talk a bit about why it chose to plant itself here, because this was the old chicken coop area, and this is extremely rich with a lot of humus, and so the soil is moist and well drained, yet very rich, and that's what it prefers. And so it has planted itself here. It likes to grow in full sun to part shade. So let's talk about the gifts of catnip, of Nepeta Cataria. And you know it for cats, right? It makes them kind of wild and crazy. But for humans, it's actually a beautiful plant for many reasons. I love this plant, and it is a cooling, calming, immune boosting, relaxant. It has so many ways that we can use it. It's used for bellyache, so it's a carminative. That means that it helps calm the belly, especially when there's tension. It's used to help bring on sleep. It's an antispasmodic, which means it helps to deal with spasms related to menstrual cramping. It is also for colic, for intestinal cramping. It is also for, oh my God, there's so many uses, for fevers, colds, flus. So it has diaphoretic properties, which means that it opens the pores and helps us detoxify. So it's also used in detox formulas. It's it's a decongestant, so it will help in dealing with catarrh, with sinus congestion. So we have a relaxing, cooling, bellyache helper, nausea helper. So anyway, I always say that there's so much more to say about each herb that I feature, and I just gave you a little taste of what its gifts are. Other things to consider too is that small amounts of this plant can be consumed. You would pinch it, mince it, and put little pinches of it into a salad or a dish. You would not put a lot in because it has a kind of an odd musky flavor. We are going to get into the flavor profile as well when we idea it in a moment. What else to say while we're standing here is we are in peak harvest right now. So we would gather this as it starts to bloom, which is happening, and we would gather the tips, or really not tips only, we were going to gather the flowering tops is what I'm going to say, flowering tops. So we go through the plant and gather just as I'm doing, and that right here is what we use for medicine. So it's the flowering tops. We include leaf and the flowers and the flower clusters. We would strip this main stalk away, so that is not part of the medicine. This square woody stem is something we would toss. You know, people are talking about using these for so many different things, for making quills for writing. But anyway, that's for another discussion. So flowering tops is what we're harvesting. It's at peak moment right now. Let's discuss also a couple of other things before we go to the macro ID. This plant is typically used as an infusion. So you would steep it and you would lid that jar or that vessel. You would make sure to cap it so the aromatics are held inside of your water-based infusion, or you would tincture it. Those are the two more common ways to consume catnip. What else to say? Yes, where is this native to? It is native to Eurasia, so that's Southern Europe and West and Central Asia, but it has spread all over the globe throughout the temperate zones, and its hardiness 3 to 9. This is a perennial, so this plant will live for more than 1 year. Usually I would say it's a short-lived perennial, so it may live for 2 or 3 years, and it reproduces by seeds. So the seeds spread themselves about, or your cats will help spread those seeds. And in terms of height, just in getting a sense of the plant's height, it typically, it doesn't reach higher than maybe 4, maybe 5 feet tall. Okay, so let's get into the ID. Catnip has leaves that are oppositely arranged, as you can see right here. They are symmetrically across from each other, so you want to make sure that's always happening. And this is a square stem. It's square, it has 4 sides. Also, you want to note that there are leaf stalks right there. The petioles are happening, so you always see that. Let's go to leaf shape now. Catnip leaves, this is lower down on the plant, and you can see that it's quite a bit bigger, and it is in the shape of a heart. It is cordate. If you look at the aerial leaf, the leaf higher up on the plant, it's of course much smaller, but it is still cordate or heart-shaped, so you can see that. They have pointy tips, and then if we look at the margins, you can see that they are serrated. So you're always looking for that. And then, of course, we've got these petioles again, so you can see that. And let's just flip it over. And the underside is quite a bit whiter. And if you were to feel this plant, it would feel quite soft. It would feel quite soft and fuzzy. It's a fuzzy leaf. You may need magnification to see the minute hairs, but you can feel the hairs through the softness. And here we see the catnip flower, this beautiful white, pinkish, sort of pinkish splashes in there with these dark magenta stamens. So we have 5 petals in this tubular flower that is very mouthy. It's a beautiful thing. Very typical of the Lamiaceae family, these flowers are. Notice that the flowers grow at the end of the stems. So the flowers develop at the end of the stems, and they grow around the stem in a whorl. Let's talk about flavor, let's talk about odor. So that's part of identification. And so let's pick a little bit of it and a little bit of the flower, a little bit of the leaf, and take a deep breath and see what you get. And it smells a kind of a skunky, musky, aromatic, minty, appealing aroma to me. I wonder what you think. And then if I was to nibble it, take a fresh piece, nibble. And along with that, there's quite a bit more menthol when I taste it. And also bitterness and a bit of astringency. So the smell and the taste also indicate the qualities of catnip. Important to do that for your ID. So let's just do a little recap on this amazing gift of a plant. And we have something here that is cooling, that is calming, both physically, emotionally. It helps us to relax, to calm down. It's for bellyaches, it's for flus, for fevers, for colds. It is for spasms, for intestinal spasms or menstrual spasms. It is used for so many wonderful things. Detoxification, it's a diaphoretic, so it opens your pores. Put it in your sleep tea or your sleep tincture. So Nepeta Cataria has so many gifts. Always, though, I suggest and recommend that you investigate whether any herb or food is good for you specifically. So check in with your healthcare provider. As much as I love to celebrate the gifts of the plants, I do feel concern around whether a plant would be appropriate for you. So that's always a caveat. Still, this catnip has been used for babies, for elders, and for everyone in between. So may catnip enter into your life as a beneficial ally. And if you've enjoyed this and you would like more, check out my online course, Wild Food Health Boosters and Herbal Remedies at wildfoodhealthboosters.com. See you next time.